look at Year 3 multiplication methods now. So in Year 3, the children are moving away from the number line method that they've been using in Year 2 and starting to move towards the column method of multiplication. They'll be working now by timesing a 1 digit by a 2 digit. So if we go with something such as 5 times 24. And in the initial stages in Year 3, we actually won't look at the column method just yet. It will come later in the year. What we'll start with is what we call a grid method. So grid method is really handy for looking at the place value of the numbers. So if I show you how that looks, in this example, something like this. I have my 5, but then I can partition my 24 to understand the place value a little more into 20 and 4. And that makes it much easier for me to use mental strategies to solve this calculation, whereas 24 times 5 in Year 3 would probably be a little bit too much to handle. 5 times 4 though, by Year 3 I should know my 5 times table, so I should be able to recall that that is 20. If your children do struggle to recall their times table still, of course we'll be looking for something like a picture there. I might want 1, 2, 3, 4, there's one lot of 4, and draw 5 lots of 4. I can then count the total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 4, and then of course the answer will be 20. Ideally though, we shouldn't be relying on things like this for 5 times tables, and by the end of Year 4 we're aiming for the children to be able to recall, instantly recall all of their times tables to 12. So a big expectation that came in with the 2014 curriculum, but one that certainly helps the fluency in their maths so the children can work a little bit quicker. So 5 times the 4 was 20. Then I have 5 times the 20. You can see I'm sort of lining up the grids here. Those ones go in that box. Those ones go in that box. 5 times 20 then initially might seem confusing to the children, but actually they can think of that as 5 times 2, which they know, I'll write down the side here. 5 times 2 they know is 10. So when they look at 5 times 20, they should notice that 20 is 10 times larger than 2. Therefore our answer is 10 times larger than 5 times 2. So our answer is 100. Let's take that back. The children will be very used to working with making things 10, hundreds, and when they get to 4,000 times larger by multiplying and smaller by dividing. So this is a skill they should be learning already. We can then total the numbers in our boxes for our answer. It's in a different colour. So we have 100. And we have 20, which is equivalent to 120. I'm just going to colour code those then, because as we move to the next method, I'll just show you how they feed in. So the next method we tend to teach alongside the grid method. So if we were looking again at 24 times 5, we'd lay it out like so. So we have our 10s in our 10s column and our 1s in our 1s column, just like we would do for a subtraction or just like we would do for an addition. And similarly, we want to be working with the right-hand side first and moving across to the left-hand side. That's very important. So we teach the children to start with this bottom number with 5, and we're doing 5 times by 4. And we know 5 times by 4 is 20. I'm just going to put that in blue. And this is what we do with the children so they can see how it corresponds to the grid method. It's exactly the same skill, just displayed in a different way. 5 times 4, 5 times 4. I will then be doing 5 times 2. Of course, though, that isn't 5 times 2, and it is very important to make that clear to the children. This isn't a 2. It's a 2-digit, but actually what it represents is 2 10s. So this is actually 5 times 20. as they're used to seeing in this method, and again we would do it alongside to make that clear. 5 times 20 is 100. There we go. And then we can total. And of course we're going to end up with, left myself much space, but we're going to end up with 120 that we would in this calculation. So this method at the beginning of the year, 2-digit times of 1 digit, moving on then to this column method towards the end of year 3, ready for year 4, but taught alongside to make explicit links between the two.